Good afternoon to everyone watching live and who will be watching later, as well as all the golden doodles out there. You are the best. We love you. Welcome to our industry connection with Marquee Digital. We are so excited to share some information about who they are and what all they do and how they can help your theater thrive. Before I pass things over to our guests, so I want to just mention a couple act things that are happening because there's always something, right? The biggest one and the most exciting is our Winter Theater Adventure coming up in February, February 13th to the 15th. We are going to be in Salt Lake City area at the Hale Center Theater. If you're unfamiliar with Hale Center, they are an extraordinary theater with outstanding technology and Broadway caliber productions. We'll be seeing Disney's Frozen, Peter Pan Goes Wrong, and the world premiere of Hallmarked, a new musical comedy that is intended for those who love Hallmark holiday movies and those who judge the people who love the Hallmark holiday movies. It will be an exciting time, great theater, great friends, wonderful, wonderful weekend. The deadline to register for that is December 1st. So I encourage you to visit aact.org/adventure26 for all the information. I also encourage you to visit aact.org/webinars for all of our upcoming events. We have monthly industry connections, roundtables, and virtual master classes. We are getting ready to announce the spring lineup, so be on the lookout for that. But for now, I just want to remind you to, as Winston said, drop your questions in the Q&A section. And our wonderful guests will get to your questions when they can. So now I'll pass things over to them. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Hello, everyone. I am Joe Chisholm. I'm an actor, web developer, and co-founder of Marquee Digital. I started my acting career on a community theater stage at Orange Park Community Theater in Jacksonville, Florida, and spent years on stage, backstage, lighting booth, front of house, everything you could imagine in that theater. And since then, I've performed around the country in community theaters, regional theaters, New York stage, off-Broadway, around the world. But I have to say there's always something that's always been very special to my heart about the community theater family.
And I'm Carlyn Connolly, also an actor, also co-founder of Marquee Digital. I, much like Joe, got my start in the community theater world on Long Island, and also spent my entire youth and adolescence running around those halls. So really happy to be here today with all of you. So in 2021, Joe and I recognized a very specific pandemic era need for safe, contactless theater programs that would help theaters return to producing as quickly and as frugally as possible. Enter the Marquee, our mobile-first interactive program for the live arts. This product was built for theaters by theater makers, that's us, and features an elegant mobile-first design designed to replace both, the paper program that we know and love, but also to augment the experience that we were having at the time with clunky PDFs and flipbooks. The product now, 4 years later, is trusted by theaters, schools, festivals, and national tours here in the US. It's designed to both reduce paper waste and also be affordable enough to serve as an alternative and addition, if you prefer, to printed programs. For the best viewing experience of this webinar, you may want to shift. Actually, I think the standard view is going to be fine. Looking at the way it's laid out, good job to ACT. You have it nailed on the webinar front. So as we started to explore this issue we were facing during the pandemic, we recognized a bigger opportunity to sort of iterate on the traditional idea of the paper program. We recognize that shrinking arts budgets continue to demand smarter solutions. And as the cost of print continues to rise and paper cost continues to rise, we see a decrease in flexibility and more limitations there. So what happens when you have a bigger audience than you expected, or you have an error in your program, or you have an understudy go on and you've got to spend your whole afternoon stuffing playbills? All of the cost associated with that is really meaningful when you are working on a shoestring budget to make magic happen. On top of that, we recognize that theater is a traditional industry. However, innovation is long overdue. While audiences continue to expect a seamless digital-first experience in every facet of their life, we imagine they're probably expecting the same in the theater.
And now we're going to ask you to take out your phones and scan the QR code you see on your screen, and you'll actually be able to see one of our live marquees from one of our clients, Mill Mountain Theater. And we'll go through the marquee in just a few moments. But yeah, so our solution to everything Carlyn was talking about is the platform that you're going to look at today. We wanted to create something that was a dynamic, accessible, and mobile-first digital program designed to engage deeply with audiences and foster connectivity between theater, audience, artists, local businesses, and more. And if we were going to ask an audience member to jump from paper to digital, we needed it to be something that was new, that was exciting, and a step forward, something more than a PDF, more than a flipbook that is not optimized for mobile viewing. But beyond that, we had a twofold goal: building a beautiful digital program for audience members, but making the process of building that program as easy and seamless as possible for the clients. Not like the cumbersome back-end experiences that a couple of our other services that are out there have. So if you've opened up your marquee from their scan, or we're also dropping it in the link in the chat for you to be able to open it that way, you'll see a production of Elf the Musical. And if you hit the main menu button and then hit on notes, we'll take a look at that section. So the notes section is where all of the core information about your show lives. It's the billing information, the credits, cast listing, any licensing information you have to show about the production. You also find all your staff info and show info like song lists or scene breakdowns. For our Marquee Pro users, we have dynamic sponsor and grantor listings with clickable links for each sponsor. There are also tribute and donor sections. And you can also find our messages section here, where you can have a message from the director, a message from the board president, or from the dramaturg. Now, if you hit the bottom right menu button and hit People, we'll take a look at that section next. So the People section is aptly named, where we get to highlight all the people that make the show happen. You'll have your cast bios and your creative team bios. We wanted to elevate this section beyond just a name and a picture. So along with the headshot and bios, we've incorporated multiple social media channels to easily connect your audience with your artists. And if your artist happens to be a member of a union, they'll sport a little tiny union badge on the corner of their bio. Now,
As
if you
probably, sorry,
go ahead.
Joe.
Go ahead. No.
As you're probably starting to see, we really wanted to focus on connectivity when we designed this product. You can see the social media link there. You can see a link to the artist's website, perhaps. And that idea of connectivity is really what we put at the center of the marquee. And that means connecting the audience to the theater, connecting the theater to the artists, connecting the artists to the local community.
And speaking of connectivity, if you hit your menu button again and hit the Connect section, that's what we'll take a look at next. And fostering connection between your theater, local business, and your audience is a main focal point of the local section. Here you get to highlight your theater's social media links, and if you have Marquee Pro users, you can have your social media feeds directly threaded into this section as well as easy social share buttons so you can share your marquee on your favorite social media channel. Also, in this section, if you have any of your audience members relaxing, waiting for the show to start, or relaxing during intermission, we have a game section where they can go and play a couple of games and keep themselves occupied while their partner is getting a drink or running to the restroom. Now, if you hit the menu button again and take a look at the local section, again, we're focusing again on that connectivity between theater and businesses. Fostering that connection is super important here. Here you can spotlight local restaurants and bars. If they offer a special deal in conjunction with your theater, you can add a marquee deal for that business, highlighting the deal and making it easy for your audience member to click and make a reservation from their seat during intermission.
So now that you've got a kind of quick and dirty tour of the product itself, we can talk a little bit about the impact that we've seen over the past 4 years. So Over this time, we have had marquees opened by 500,000 plus users all around the globe. That has happened in 168 countries around the world. And these marquees have featured over 1,000 artists and connected them with audience members and viewers all over the place. You can see on the right some of our clients here. We've got theaters, community theaters, regional theaters, off-Broadway theaters, everything from festivals to art fairs to concerts and more. Even Trisha Paytas's Big Broadway Dream, which we did the live stream program for earlier this year. And because we have clients with such a diverse array of needs, we have designed a bit of a portfolio of products and subscription offerings to really meet those needs. So here you're seeing our three main streams of marquee functionality. There is the event marquee, which is a one-time use program designed for concerts, fundraisers, special events, etc. This is ideal for, let's say, an artist who is self-producing their one-woman show at a venue in town. It's really fast turnaround to build with customizable visuals and easy-to-use content blocks. Then we have the standard marquee, which is perfect for smaller scale productions, drama clubs, etc. This includes all of the core features in our 3-option menu, featuring bios, photos for the cast and creative, sponsor space to thank those people that make it happen. This is really quick to build and even easier to share. Then there is the Marquee Pro, which is designed for community and regional theaters, festivals, organizations with multiple events throughout the year. This offers a customizable ad space. It has interactive sponsor and donor lists, and even comes with a custom QR poster that you can feature in your lobby. Beyond that, we have some premium add-ons. For organizations that are seeking a fully branded experience, we offer white labeled marquees with your logo, your custom colors, optional URL masking, if that's something that you're interested in. This is ideal for sponsored events, sort of high profile productions, or just elevating your institutional brand. So now let's talk about something we hear all the time. A lot of our clients come to us, or prospective clients come to us and say, you know, my audience is a little bit too old for digital, or they're hesitant to scan a QR code, or that they're just not really interested. We totally get it. Theater is a tradition-rich industry, and for many, the printed program is a part of that ritual. But Marquee Digital is designed so that you don't have to choose between tradition and innovation. Our platform is affordable enough to actually pair it with a print run, letting you serve those tech-hesitant patrons and the modern theater goers without sacrificing your budget, sustainability, or the experience. And there's also a bigger picture here. 85% of Gen Z say that sustainability actually shapes their buying decisions. And Gen Z is, in fact, tomorrow's audience, and they're looking to theaters to align with their values. So with the Marquee, you can easily create a sort of hybrid model that works for everyone. You can offer your digital program to general audiences while printing programs for opening night or VIPs. You can also print as a bonus incentive for season ticket holders. We also really love the West End model, which involves selling a print program while also offering the digital option for free. The bottom line is that we wanted to create a product that doesn't require you to choose. It's not always about eliminating or replacing print, but actually about making space for both options as your audience continues to grow.
Now that we've talked a little bit about the actual hands-on experience of the audience, I want to take you a little bit behind the scenes and take a look at the dashboard to see how you would go around building your own marquee. So if you are signed into your dashboard, we'll see right here, this is the Marquee Digital dashboard for a Marquee Pro user. As soon as you log in, you're on this first main panel where you will see a list of all your marquees up top with drop-down menus for easy access options. You'll see a welcome screen and at-a-glance panel where you can have your subscription information and some statistics about all the different components that you've created through the length of your subscription. The rest of the dashboard is split into three main sections: the Marquee Builder, the Marquee Database, and Support. The Marquee Builder is where you will build your marquees. This is where you'll spend the majority of your time. Now, we've created our backend system with you in mind. We wanted to make it as seamless as possible to remove redundancies. So the idea is once you create content, it is living in the database and it is ready to be reused. You should never have to re-enter any information. So any person you add, any staff you add, any media you add, it is ready in the database to be utilized for the next marquee. So you'll see here, this is a fresh marquee that's waiting to be created. You'll see a blank phone screen because we haven't added the key art yet. And once you add the key art, you'll see a mock-up of what the audience will experience with their poster. Now, the build process will be split up into a number of steps, and we recommend you go through these steps because, like I said, once you add information, it gets threaded through to everything beneath it, and you only have to add that information once. So step one is start and update your marquee. That's where you put your core information in, like the opening date, closing date. This is where you add your key art. Any information about intermissions or setting, all of that information is where you add it there, and then it's there ready to go for all of the rest of the future forms. The next section is where you're going to create a venue. We can even take a look at that. And you'll see once you get in there, you have the option to create a new venue or even use an existing venue. So like we said, as soon as you create a component, it's there to be reused in the future. So if we create a new venue, this is where you can add all of that information. We can just start again. This is where we add the venue name. So let's just throw in a name there, the address, the logo. And the idea here is if your theater has multiple spaces, you can create various venues for each space. And this is where you could add your board of directors, always important. If you have donors and tributes, this is where you can add a message that precedes both of those pop-up sections. And producer credits that are above the title line, producer credits, if that's something that you want to highlight for your given show. And once that's created, your venue, again, is in the system and ready to be reused in the future whenever. The next section is titled billing, and that is the main information that you would see on the front page of a printed program. This is the title credits, the cast and creative credits, the show logo, the licensing information. And once you add the creative team information here, that will get threaded straight through to the production staff below. And again, you never have to add them in twice. Section 4 is who's who. Obviously, very important. These are all the people that make the show happen. This is your artists, this is your staff, this is the musicians, this is everybody. The artist section, we really wanted to help give agency to your artists and remove the onus of wrangling every piece of content from every bio from every person, because we know that you're already doing so many things in a given day to make your shows happen. So you get to share a link with your artists and they get to set up their own artist bios, and it gets threaded straight through to the marquee. And then you have a checklist where you can keep track of each artist that is submitted, and then you can just email them and say, hey, fill out that information. And again, you're giving that agency to them. But if you want to add artists yourself, you have that access from the admin, and you will see here, once you're in there, you have the option to create a new artist. Or again, if you are doing another show that this artist has already been a part of, you can just choose to use an existing artist, and then you'll see a list of every artist that you have in your system. Click on them, and then if they are doing a new role, or if they're reusing the same role, if they're the lighting designer for 2 consecutive marquees, you can just reuse the role or create a new one, and it's ready to go. And their information that they've already added is threaded through, and you just don't have to worry about repeating information. And that's kind of our goal. Step 5 is the essentials. These are all the components that you see for all your various parts of a program. This is the messages, where you get to see a message from the director or from the theater or from the board president. Special thanks, where you get to call out all the people that make your theater thrive and happen. Media, where you get to show videos and production photos. Songs and scenes, where you can have list breakdown of your songs or scene breakdowns for your plays. Social media, where you get to highlight your social media channels, and for our Marquee Pro users, have those social feeds directly added to the program itself. Local is where you get to list all the local businesses, and this is where you get to create those and create the marquee deals and help foster that connectivity with that local business. Step 6 is the really, really important section, because these are the people that really make it happen. This is where you get to highlight your sponsors and your grantors and your donors and your tributes. And, you know, we all know that have worked in the community theater world, like these are the people that keep the lights on, and this is how they are the true blood of a community theater. Step 7 is very important for those that have ever had to cut little inserts and put them into programs because there's been a change in cast that happens. The pop-up form is where you get to indicate that there's an understudy going on, or if there's a talkback after a given show, or something happening on a given performance that you want to highlight. You go to the pop-up form, you activate it, and you get to put that information in. And as soon as the user opens that marquee, that is the first thing that they see. And once a marquee has been filled out, you'll notice down at the bottom there's a couple of additional icons and buttons here. The QR code is where you will be able to just click and download the QR code to share amongst your audience members. And then the checklist is really useful because this is how you get to keep track of all the various components you have added to this marquee. And then you get to keep track of which ones you haven't. So we see that we've added the venue here, but we haven't added the venue staff yet, or the production staff. And so this is how you kind of keep an eye on all the pieces that you're waiting for. And you'll also be able to see a list of all the cast and creatives once they've added their information as well. So this is how you get to keep track of what you still need to create and what is missing. And the third section of the dashboard, of course, is our support. And this is where you'll find articles that range from creating every aspect of your marquee to editing it and any other questions that might happen in between. And if that doesn't solve your issues, we have a chat bot at the bottom where one of us is usually always there in a live chat ready to interact with you and answer your questions on any given workday. But if we are not there, you can set up a support ticket email. You can check out the Word docs that we have available, and also our AI bot often can answer a lot of questions. It's pretty fantastic. So that is a very quick rough and dirty look at our dashboard. And again, our goal in mind is to make your job as easy as possible. And I actually skipped a section. I want to show you the database. I went straight to the support because I don't know why. The database is where everything that you have created lives. So every time you created a venue or people or sponsors or your ads or all your local businesses, this is where all the information lives, and you can go in and edit anything in the future. So you'll see all of your cast members here, even if they've submitted their information. You have all of that here, and then if there's a typo or there's something that you want to edit yourself, you can go in and edit. Even though your artists submit their information, you have complete creative control over every aspect of content that goes into your marquee. And there, I think that's all the 3 sections now, and we will continue on.
So we have designed a new offer for keeping our community theaters in mind, and we just wanted to quickly share what we have on offer for our beloved community theater clients. So we are offering 3 versions of the marquee. This is the standard marquee with our 3-option menu design featuring notes, people, and connect. And this subscription includes unlimited marquees. You can make as many as you want, and they remain available in the marquee library in perpetuity, even after your show has closed. This is $720 per year, billed annually. The marquee with custom ads also features the 3-option menu and everything that's included in the marquee subscription, with the addition of custom ads. These ads are to be sold by your organization to local businesses, etc., and you keep the revenue. The ads themselves will open in a new tab in your device's browser to really facilitate that seamless digital experience while elevating and creating connectivity with our local partners. This one is $1020 per year, also billed annually. The Marquee Pro is the version of the product that we looked through with the ELF program. And that is our 6-option menu design featuring notes, people, and connect, in addition to media, local, and the news sections, and also including those custom ads. This yearly subscription it actually includes 1 month free, and that brings the annual total to $27.50. And that concludes our presentation. At this time, we'd welcome any questions you might have about the product, the subscriptions, the experience, whatever comes to mind. If you'd like to explore the subscriptions, you can scan the QR code on the screen, and I will also drop the link to that page in the chat in case you're viewing on a mobile device.
And I see a question from Adam Miller. When you update a cast member's bio or other piece of information like a board listing, does it retroactively update a past marquee? Yes. So when you create a role, so an artist information, it's kind of split into 2 separate categories. You have the artist info and then the actual role itself, which are kind of 2 pieces that they end up putting together. So if you're updating a role information, then it is specific to that role and to that marquee. If you're updating, if someone gets married and they have a change of a last name, they'll update their artist information, and then that will be reflective in all programs. If you have a board listing that you need to create a new one, that is again something you can do in the database and just create a new one to be reflective of this season's board members. So then you would just have again like a snapshot of each moment in time through the length of the history of your theater.
We do encourage clients, if they are looking to snapshot something, to make sure that it's maintaining the integrity of a specific year or season. We do encourage them to categorize the information that way. So that normally entails, titling that board of directors, for example, 2025-2026 season board of directors, just so that within the Marquee database, it's easy enough for you to find it and to use it. And then when you come back in 2026 to 27, you would create a new one so that 2025 to 26 is going to have the correct information to reflect the actual board of directors that year. And we have another question here from Darla in the chat. Darla asks, when someone scans the QR code, is there any place where they are collecting their data so we know who is utilizing it? Joe, I'll pass that one to you. It's an analytics question.
So if you had noticed during our breakdown of products and premium add-ons, we have what we are going to be releasing in the first quarter of next year, Marquee Analytics, which will be a bit of a more robust breakdown where you'll be able to see from program to program viewers and all the information that I think you're speaking of. So you can have a breakdown of mobile to desktop users, to location, to age demographics that are available through all normal analytic platforms, and yeah, so you will be able to keep track of how many people are viewing a marquee for a given production. And this is also useful for clicks on links for your custom ads, because it's useful for ROI when you're speaking to your potential ad buyers. Let's see, we have another question from Darla. Will there be an option for surveys if we want to periodically send out an intermediate survey after a show? Was this your first time here? Did you like the show, etc.? Would that be available? We use Constant Contact, but this would be something great to have on this. Yes, we've had multiple programs in the past where we have used embedded survey features like that, sometimes even for a live concert for audiences to, in the midst of a concert, answer questions that would then affect the concert later on. So yes, there are parts of the program that are set up to be a little bit modular and almost on a blank canvas. For example, the messages section, there's 3 built-in messages sections that can be used for any format. So what you're referring to is being able to embed a constant contact survey form in one of those sections, it's there and available for people to utilize. And yeah, it gives you the flexibility to use these kind of third-party systems within our ecosystem to really elevate the experience and kind of curtail it specifically to your needs.
Here's another question. Can the show QR be used as part of our social media advertising as a preview of the upcoming show? So, yes, in a sense, we have certainly released QR codes early for companies to use in their advertising materials. Social media, you might be better served using a link since most folks are looking at social media on their device already. However, Joe, I think you can speak to this certainly, but pretty much once you create the marquee itself, as you saw with the initial, Marquee Digital branded marquee, once that's created, I believe, Joe, the QR code is available for your use. And as soon as you're ready with enough information in the marquee to distribute it, you are free to do as you wish.
Spot on. So what's really cool about a digital program experience as opposed to a print program experience is essentially as you put your initial information in for each marquee, a QR code for that marquee is implemented. That means you can start your beginning of your season and create marquees for your entire fleet of shows and add the core information in that you have available for those. And then once artist information in that stuff that is more time sensitive comes in closer to the production, that stuff can get added. So you can create marquees for your entire season and have them viewable as long as you put enough information that you want to have on there. And we also have our marquees set up that they are modular and conditionally visible, that if you don't have a message section that you're using, or if you don't have production staff added yet, that section of the marquee just doesn't appear. So you never have an empty looking marquee where there are spaces that content should be. Those spaces just don't appear until you've actually added your content. So you can create a full fleet and have marquee QR codes ready for all of your shows, and then the experience of viewing them will just, gradually change as you continue to add more content into them.
I know we are coming up on our time, and we're so grateful to all of you for joining us today. As you can see on the screen, if you do have any questions or you want to learn more about Marquee Digital, or even just share your ideas, because we're always looking to improve our services, please do feel free to email us at info@marquee.digital. And we would love to keep this conversation going.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Joe and Carlyn, for sharing Marquee with us, and thank you attendees for joining. What a wonderful opportunity to engage with your audience more directly. And I love the fact that it's available forever, because I am one who goes back and looks through old playbills. So I love the idea of having that at my fingertips for all eternity. So you heard them. Reach out to them if you have questions. Keep that conversation going. We're excited to see what happens. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you at the next Activate soon.